Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching the channel as always. Gonna do my best to do a nice how-to video for you. I got a tiller in, and pretty sure all it needs is a diaphragm. This is one of those 5 horsepower flathead Briggs & Strattons. They made them from the, I don't know, the 60s all the way up to the early 2000s before overhead valve stuff took over. And the premise is about the same. It has one wear item, and that's the diaphragm, and I'm pretty sure that's all that's wrong with this one. This is an 80s model tiller, and I just want to make a good video on how to change the diaphragm out in one of these. You can get a diaphragm kit online for a couple dollars, and a lot of times that's the only thing that's preventing these things from running. Hopefully that's the case with this one. I know it's been setting up for a while, and I want to bring it back to life because it's gardening season, and we need to get some tillers out so that I can get some space around here. Let's go ahead and get started on this. Again, if you have any questions about the video, you can feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or at ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook, or comment right here on YouTube, whichever one works best for you. Let's go ahead and get started with this tiller and the diaphragm replacement. Alright guys, so this is one of the older ones. Again, they make newer ones as well that still have a similar engine, similar diaphragm on it. I think they make 2 different types of diaphragms, but don't quote me. I think both of them you can kind of make work on each one. We'll find out. This is in particular, is a Maxim 5 horsepower chain drive, heavy duty. Looks like it's in decent shape for it to be an 88 model, according to the engine on the side. This is a 130202 Briggs engine, made March 29th of 1988, according to this. It does start on starter fluid. It has gas in it. Thing is, if it's been sitting around for a while, it's probably got a bad diaphragm right here. I know I've got to get that cable out of the way as well. So, either way, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 4 screws for a diaphragm right here. Some of them I think have 4 right here, and then a 5th. I'm not quite sure. Some of them have Phillips heads, some of them have flat heads. Just kind of depends on what you got. But this one right here is one of the older style. I got another tiller. I'll see if it's a different style over there real quick before we take this off and put the new one on, and we'll see if that fixes the problem for us. Let me show you that new style tiller real quick while I'm thinking about it. Alright guys, so here's that new style plate, but it almost kind of looks like the plate can be put on that one that we have here. This is a newer Yard Machines. I think it's made in the late 90s, right around the year 2000. I don't see a date code right off the top of my head, or right off the top here. I have to put an ignition coil on this one too. So you'll see a video coming up on this one. These have the star bits. I think some of them have the Phillips bits. It just kind of depends on what you got. But either way, the premise is going to be the same. The process is going to be the same. You might just have slight differences. Alright y'all, I've gotten you as close as I can with my setup here. And what I'm going to do is just take these screws off. You should be able to get them off fairly easily. They are small, so be sure that you don't lose them as you take them out. We're going to go the complete process step by step here. Just put them right there for right now. 1 screw. 2 screws. I think that other one had, the one that I just showed you had the screw down here for the 2nd screw. Can't remember fully, but I would suggest not getting a bent screwdriver to do this, but it works just the same, I suppose. It's the 3rd screw. Use the mess out of these tools that I have here at home. And number 4. I don't think I need to get rid of this tube. I might though. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay, so now it should just find an area to kind of pick up here. That's the trick. This is a tricky part because you got to find an area to just kind of pop it off. Let me find that tool. We'll get it off. All right, y'all. I got it. All I did was take a small screwdriver, put it over here on this side of the tabs, away from the screws and where the diaphragm kind of meets with the carburetor. Just gave it a nice tap, and it popped right off. This one probably has been on here a little while, which is why it's most likely was a little tough to get off. But we're gonna pull this off. You'll see a spring and like a little, you might see a little gas come out too. It just kind of depends. Yeah, this thing's not even pumping at all because that should be wet. And as long as the jets aren't clogged in the carb. And take note also of how this spring and this O-ring go, because they will come out on you. Some kits are going to have, you can see this is pretty dry rotted and whatnot. So you'll see that some kits you will have this with it. The one that I have, actually was given to me, so I didn't even buy it. It did not come with it, but it should fit right on here. You see it has the little screws to where it'll fit either application, the ones that I showed you. They may be different part numbers, but I have been able to use them on the same thing, or on both styles that I showed you earlier. So it may warrant cleaning out these inlet jets as well. We are going to, in this case, not do that. I'm always wary of using carb spray around diaphragms just because of the fact that they'll cause them to dry up. So the thing that I'm going to do, and this is the difficult thing, I'm going to make my life a little bit easier, and I'm going to tilt the tiller over some. Maybe put a jack stand under it or something along those lines down here on the bottom, so that I'm not fighting against the spring coming out, me trying to push the plate in, and all that. So let me do that. I'll be right back. So this is arguably the hardest part of this job, getting these diaphragms on. But if you can take a look, you see where that one screw hole isn't doing anything? Well, that's where I guess it would screw in on that other tiller that I showed you. But obviously we're not working on that one right now, we're working on this one. I'm going to see if I can sandwich all this together here and get it in. It's always difficult, but okay, so we got it sandwiched together and in. Now it's a process of lining up all of the, like, the diaphragm and all the bolt holes and stuff, and the tab and the whole shebang. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, so we got it pushed in. There we go. I pushed it in on the left side. We're going to line up these diaphragm bolt holes now, screw holes, whatever. The hardest thing about it is you don't want to, you got to line these things up just right, because you don't want to penetrate the diaphragm and cause issues. And now we just, whenever you do this, I don't know how much my head or whatever got in the way, but you got to make sure, I want you to press the spring in and then push it in to make sure that it stays in that little slot that it needs to stay in. So it goes spring, little O-ring, metal ring type deal that goes on top of the spring, and then the diaphragm. So just keep that in mind when you do this. I'm getting all 4 of the screws started before I start cranking them down, putting them in. Fourth one's hard just because of the location, but see if we can get it started with the screwdriver. Yeah. So now I'm just going to screw all these in. Probably do one on the bottom here, followed by a top one, and then just kind of crisscross, just so that we kind of get an even distribution. These don't get torqued down or anything, these just get put in place. You hope that it creates a nice little seal. I have seen some of these leak after we've replaced them. However, they still run just fine. Got to remember we're talking about something that is, what, 34 years old at this point. So, kind of crazy. We're at that point. I'm actually kind of curious. I'll cut it here just so I have a clean edit. And I'm going to get it out here and see if it'll start. I'll crank on it a little bit. If not, we'll encourage it with a little bit of starter fluid. Just because this has probably been a little while since this tiller has ran, and I don't know if it's only the diaphragm or if it's the diaphragm and the carb tube stopped up and stuff like that. So I just want to make a quick separate video on the diaphragm, how to replace it. But that's how you do it. It's really not too hard. You can do it in about 10 minutes in your garage as long as you've got the part. Alright y'all, I'm going to crank on this thing and see if it'll start up for us. It's got enough oil in it to run, and we'll just see what happens, I suppose. So like I said, it hasn't been running a while. Sometimes it needs a little bit of encouragement. I'm going to take off the air filter cover, spray a little bit of carb spray down there, see if we can get a little bit of gas to get up in there and get flowing through that diaphragm. Alright y'all, so that didn't quite work. So let's spray a little bit of carb spray. Starter fluid. I'm thinking, because I looked in the tank, it looks like it's a little rusted. I bet I have a jet that's clogged. That's not allowing the gas to get actually up into the diaphragm. So we'll see though. We'll see if this does it. Yeah, I got a clogged jet, unfortunately. Yeah, I got a clogged jet, unfortunately. So I've got to do a little bit more work to this, but we do know that we have a new diaphragm in it. So that's how you put a diaphragm in one of these guys. If you don't need anything else, thanks for watching the video. But now we're going to try to get the get this situated when it comes to this carburetor and the jet in it next. So if y'all want to stick around for that, feel free to. We'll cruise on with that. I'm going to take off 4 5/16 inch here bolts, and we're going to attempt to take the thing off so that we can get it to where it gets clear and that we can get fuel up to the diaphragm so that it'll run again for us. Alright y'all, so the diaphragm was the easy part. This is where it gets a little more complicated, taking this carb off and doing the whole song and dance with the gas tank and all that stuff. So what needs to happen is well, do I take, almost looks like I need to take this 5/16 off, but I can't access them until I get this bracket off for the throttle. So it's gonna be a little bit of a mess. This is all Phillips screwdrivers. Just gotta be careful because sometimes these things haven't been taken off in a while. So be careful. I'm gonna unscrew all the screws. Just remember where they all go. So they may all be the same length. I want to say that one of them might be shorter. It's been a minute since I've done one of these tillers, to be honest with you. So, or we could just have some bad gas, but we're not pulling any gas up either way. So let's see. So I'm going to unscrew these 5 screws. I think, or 4 screws. It's only 4 screws. Sorry. I thought I had 5 for some reason. Number 3 is right there. Number 4 is just on the other side here. I feel like I got that out. Screw number 4. They're just stubborn to come out. There we go. You can see just the crud on the screws themselves. This thing may just need a massive gas tank clean out, truthfully. We'll see though. I gotta get these other screws up out of the way. There's the 3rd one. Doesn't look like it makes any difference which one goes where, from what I can tell here. I got the 4th one out. This gas tank might be a mess, y'all. I might take the diaphragm back out. Okay, so we've gotten those screws out. Oh, don't lose it. This will be a little unnerving sometimes. But, alright, so we've gotten the 4 screws out. Go ahead and take this little breather out of the way as well. What else do we have going on here? Probably need to take off. What do we need to take off here? This has got to go first and foremost. It's probably gonna rip. This isn't really that important if it rips. Okay, so we've got that. We're gonna pull the choke off. Just remember how all this goes, guys, because this could be easy to screw up. So the Z-bend goes on the side of the choke arm, which I'll put that back in. Then this, that'd be a J-bend, goes on the side where we've got the actual choke going on. So keep an eye on that. We've got a couple of others that we got to take care of here. Looks like I need to take off that 5/16. This will allow the arm to get away. I guess this is just a mounting point, so allows you to get that away. And then what you can do is take this off. Be real careful because this is plastic. There we go. See if I can just leave that hanging. Let's see. Might just be able to leave that hanging too. Why not try and might just let that live right there. So now the next order of business. It's like a puzzle. We gotta get this. This is gonna be the hard part right here, guys. Or can I slide this tank out? Oh man, that's attached to the governor and everything right there though. Ugh. I don't know if I want to mess with that. How am I going to get this off? Okay. I think I've done this before, and I think I had to use socket and ratchet and an extension. Not right here, but in the other areas. So I think they're 3/8 or 7/16. As long as I can get those two screws out of the intake, then we should be okay when it comes to being able to just pull this thing up out of the fuel tank. Let me get the tools I need, and I will get those loosened up to the point to where we can just pull this carburetor out, it looks like. That's going to be our next order of business. Alright guys, so the trick is, it seems, to get the exhaust off, which is 2 7/16. Luckily, I think this has been stored inside for a little while. Pretty easy to get off. And then that allowed me to loosen the intake bolts with a 3/8 inch wrench. And it's coming right on out. So I might have to be a little creative with this. It may take a few minutes to get this bottom bolt out just because of access. You know, it could be a lot better and it could be a lot worse, you know. So alright, now I can get this bolt out right here and not lose it down in the engine. We'll be cooking with gas, hopefully. Which I am doing now at my house. We just got a gas range converted from electric. It's one of the best things you could ever do, guys. Alright. Now, okay, so now we've got it to where we've got it separated from the, there we go. And now we're going to pull it up. Ooh. She's a little crusty. I don't really see anything on the carb itself that'll be cause for, oh yeah, I do. That tank is just dirty. Need to give it a good wash. Well, oh, I hate doing this, but we can blow. Blow some through here, blow some air, blow something through here. I think that's just like a Welsh plug, or is it a jet that's clogged? I think it's just a Welsh plug and the jet is on the side over here. So I'm going to work on this a little bit, and I'll let you know the results here in just a second. I think what I'm also going to do, so that I don't screw up this brand new diaphragm, I'm going to take this diaphragm back out so that I can give it a nice bath in carb spray and get a bunch of this crustiness off. And then I'm going to work on the tank a little bit. I'm going to have to take the tank off. I think it just slides. No, it doesn't slide right off, does it? What's holding it on now? It's just a... Oh, it is held on by something down there. Oh, man. If I got to take the whole governor setup off of this thing, please no. Well, I guess we'll see. I don't see where I can just willy-nilly take this thing off. Or can I? Or does it slide? Just slide up? I don't know. I will investigate, because it kind of stinks, because this thing is almost full of gas, but it is rust city in there, as you can tell. So I'm going to have to do some massive cleaning on this to get it to where it's not going to do what it was doing earlier. Let me get to work off camera. I'll let you know what I end up with here. Alright, y'all, I got something to show you on this, and I think we're going to have to pause this project for a little bit until I get the parts needed. However, here's what's happening. Watch me push some carb spray up through here, and watch right here. You see how it's kind of splattering out right there as well? So it looks like this area has been cracked. There's like a seam, and it looks like that seam has cracked. And what that's causing it to do is that it's not allowing the fuel to get pulled up through the tube all the way, and it is allowing air to get in, and it's not going to allow it to create a seal enough to pump that diaphragm. So this carb is done. I think I can buy the tube itself, or I can just buy a carb, just a full carb for it. But either way, I know this one is not going to go back on in its current state. Kind of stinks, but either way, I'm going to take the gas tank off and get it clean, and hopefully I'll get this thing running a little bit running reliably after we finish with it. So that's, man, that stinks though. But that's what's going on. I'm going to have to get this tube in order for me to get the carburetor fixed. Either the tube, or I might just order a new carb, because this one's got some gunk and stuff in it. And I know I've done a replacement carb on one of these, and it's worked just fine. So that's what I got to do, guys, unfortunately. Alright, guys, I did a lot of work while y'all were not looking, just because I did. Getting late in the day, I kind of need to get stuff done. But anyways, when you put this on, let me show you the final product, because I kind of fumbled around. I did put this on, this throttle adjuster. I think I showed that on camera. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that go into this. And when you put the carb on, you put the gasket on. And then after you put the gasket on, you put this little keeper on the breather tube. You put this on top of your choke lever. This bracket goes in these 2 holes right here, and you got your choke lever. I don't have the air filter or anything on yet, because I want to try and crank it without it on there. But that's how all that goes. And then your choke linkage, I think I've got a little bit wonky, but it seems like it wants to work okay. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know fully, but we'll see when I put the air filter and stuff back on if this choke operates correctly. It's got a lot of play in it right now, but that's just because I don't have that mounting plate on the top for the air filter. Any bets on if this thing will crank? I've got the speed up. We will have to wire up some sort of kill switch, but let's see. Not yet. Not yet. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I put some starter fluid down there, if I can get it to start. All right, here we go. Do that every once in a while for these things. These old 5 horsepower is a little temperamental. I did check the oil. The oil's good. Worked out nicely. Let's see if it'll crank back up for us. It should. Cool. Gotta fix that. That worked out nicely though. Alright, so that worked out well. I'm gonna go ahead and put the air filter and stuff back on and call it a night. Tomorrow I will come out here and or the next day, whatever it is. I'm gonna wire me up a kill switch here somewhere on the tiller here, and we'll see and make sure that there's no kill switch down here that I'm missing. Yeah, it'll be easier for me to just wire an external switch right here. I think that'll work out just fine. Pop it right here. Maybe put it over here so that it's not kind of in the way of the chain. And we'll be done with this. Change the oil in it also. Maybe, I don't know, these ropes right here last forever, so I might just leave that rope be too. It just kind of depends. Super excited though. I'm glad that carb worked. I think the guy put some existing gas in there, so I think the gas is pretty fresh. It ran really well, so very happy with that. Alright guys, this is the long video coming to an end here. It is the tiller. It's ready to roll. Put a changed the oil in it and put a kill switch on it. So we got the kill switch going from the existing wire, spliced it into a new wire, ran it up to a switch, and put a ground wire underneath it right here, and it works great. It did fire on choke this morning, which is great. Well, it is afternoon now. I have no sense of time. I have had it running for about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even longer than that, just to make sure that it's going to pull gas up and all that good stuff. And I'll give y'all a fire and I'll show you that it works. I don't really have anywhere to till, so I did do like a quick little thing over there, but it didn't really, I mean, it worked great. It started digging in pretty good, so. Pretty good. Got the choke working. Idles down nice and low, and turned off. Always got to have an on-off switch, I've learned over the years. Number one rule. If you watch my old videos, you realize that I did not, but I've gotten wiser in my recent years, and also less frugal. Anyways, belt works good. Y'all saw it. I just gotta clean this mess off right here, which is gonna take me all of about 10 seconds. Take some pictures, send it to the guy, and he'll probably end up buying it. I think I'll just let him have it for $200, and that'll be good. Got another one that you'll probably see on the channel here in a week or two, depending on when I get it done. Yard machine, 5 horsepower. But yeah, we've got that. I'll toss that in the yard. Just cut it up with grass, since I don't really do a good job keeping up with my yard here. Anyways, so yeah, what year was this thing made? 88, 85, 88. So oil looked pretty good in it. Had a little bit of metal flakes, but who knows how long it's been since it's been changed. It's probably been like that for a while. Nothing unusual for the age of the engine. And you can see it doesn't really smoke either. And should start right back up. Alright, got that off. It might snap back at me, but I mean, it starts on idle, so will it even till at idle? Oh yeah. Cool. So she runs good. I think it'll be a good tiller for the customer. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. So what turned out to be what I was hoping was going to be just a simple carb diaphragm replacement and potential drain out of the gas tank turned into a carburetor replacement. And Just kind of finagling a couple things, adding the ground wire and all that stuff. Either way, it was worth my time and effort. I think it's like the carb was like 20 bucks. The diaphragm I didn't even pay for that old carb because it came with the other machine. So like I said, a fairly easy couple $100. This is gonna go to a new home. Like I said, I pretty much have already sold this thing. So if you have any questions about the video, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09, and I will catch y'all on the next video. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I will see you then.